All right, Bucs win, Bucs win, Bucs win. A bizarre game against the Las Vegas Raiders, but a win is a win. Ends up being a two-score game. This was a close game for a good chunk of it. The Buccaneers outscored the Raiders 28-3, or excuse me, outscored them 14-3 in the fourth quarter. Outscored them 28-13 throughout the game. A lot of ways we can take this. It's a huge win. The Buccaneers lead the division, and they're really in a good spot to make the playoffs. If they can go, they play the Chargers next week, which is kind of a scheduled loss with how good I think the Chargers are, although there's still a chance, right? But if they go 3-1 in their next four games, all they need to make the playoffs would be one Falcons loss or two Commanders losses. And keep in mind, the Falcons play the Commanders this season. So odds are one of those things is going to happen. Go 3-1, you're probably in. So that's great. The bad news is that I don't think they looked great in this game. I think this is, we looked at this stretch of these three games, the Giants, the Panthers, and the Raiders, and felt like, okay, these are three games that they're favored to win, but can you go 3-0? They went 3-0, and that's not easy to do in the NFL, and we shouldn't sell that short. You're going to have, when you play, opponents that aren't great, you're going to have some difficulties. And look at what Carolina's doing to everybody at this point. They nearly beat the Eagles, they nearly beat the Chiefs. That almost feels like an impressive win a little bit, but this game, I think it starts with Baker Mayfield. His numbers are actually pretty good. He had over 10 yards per attempt in this game. I think a large part of that was that late Jalen McMillan screen pass touchdown, which, hey, still a good play, but, definitely helped inflate the numbers a little bit. I did not think Mayfield played what we need him to play. And it just kind of feels like sometimes he can't fully get the concept of we're in a good spot, don't put the ball in harm's way, right? Like, it's not a Jameis Winston thing where just he's always putting the ball in harm's way, but it's just he's so good at these difficult throws, and he's so good at fitting the ball through tight windows. He can do it relatively frequently, but in a game like this, we didn't need that from him, and he still did that at times. And I think sometimes you have to rely on the running game, let your defense do the work. This was a good defensive performance. He made too many mistakes at the end of the day. Too many sacks. The sacks were frustrating because everyone always blames the offensive line for sacks. But the sacks, I did not think it was really a horrible offensive line performance. There were some bad plays, of course, but I think that what made it worse was there was constant pressure. The Buccaneers weren't able to, get open when there was pressure, and Mayfield held onto the ball for too long on a lot of these plays, including, the fumble where there's that big swing where there's this fluky interception. The first interception I don't put on Baker. It was a great play by Caleb on Chason. That was a great play. What are you going to do? And it was a tip pass anyway, by Caleb on Chason. Then, the Buccaneers get the ball right back on another fumbled snap by the Raiders. And then Baker Mayfield, he holds on to the ball for too long on a play and fumbles it, and the Raiders recover. It's like not only did you hold on to the ball for too long to take a sack, but then you fumble it on top of it, allowing the Raiders to recover. It wasn't a good play by Baker, and then the interception at the end of the half was also a bad play. So those are mistakes that if you don't make those mistakes, if the Buccaneers, those are points, right? If you're up, if you get, let's say those were each 3-point mistakes, if you can get to be up 10 points instead of up 4 points during some of it's a different game. It just is. Other than that, and he did make some plays, I thought this was a pretty solid performance by the Bucs. I think Baker's disappointing performance is the only major critique I have. Maybe some minor ones. Would have liked to see the interior offensive line block a little better. And then Bucky Irving getting hurt, that hurts the team, right? That sucks that he got banged up. Hopefully he can get back. I think Rachaad White's good. Sean Tucker, who had that one long run, he only had 3 carries in this game, interestingly enough. I get why Sean Tucker got kind of benched because he did fumble at the goal line. Kind of feels like he has to start getting more playing time, though, right? Because he played well, I think. As for the rest of the offense, Kate Otten had that big play at the end. Mike Evans had a couple big plays. I don't think he's going to get his 1,000 yards. I just don't think it's going to happen because, it's still possible. If he has a game where he goes off, it's still possible. But, teams are doubling him every play just because, what else? Why wouldn't you, right? So I just don't know if he can make it happen. Yeah, so there's that. Defense, I thought played well. Levante David, who did miss a key tackle on a 3rd and 1, but other than that was really good. Started off really hot with the sack and the recovered fumble. Um, still some flukiness here with this defense. You still see sometimes it feels too easy for them. There was that, I think kind of to play it a game or to drive it a game, the Raiders found themselves down 4 points to start the second half, but they get the ball and they have this 10 minute drive to get into Buccaneers territory. They're deep in Buccaneers territory, and you're thinking, okay, if we can hold them to 3, at least we're up a point, but you're not feeling good. And Aiden O'Connell just makes a bad interception. I mean, there's no way no getting around it. It was good coverage. Definitely that was Tyke Smith who had the coverage on who is it? They're really good tight end who Brock Bowers who's been awesome. Tyke Smith had him covered. And I think Aiden O'Connell isn't used to having him covered, so he just threw it anyway. But that was a bad decision. Really helped out the Bucs, allowed us to get the ball back. And weren't able to. I believe we weren't able to score on that one. And then it looked like there was another interception, but Merriweather, wasn't able to, hold on. And that was a tough one. Zion McCollum later looked like he had an interception. He wasn't able to hold on, so that was tough. But defense played well, as it should have, right? This is not exactly the, I don't know, not exactly the '07 Patriots that we're going up against here, but, the defense did play well, was able to, hold their own and give the Buccaneers a lot of chances. So, if the defense can get a little better, that does go a long way, right? I don't need this defense to be elite. Can it be better than what it was? Unfortunately, as the defense gets better, the offense has gotten worse. And I think it starts with Mayfield, who, I'll say this with Baker, just like how you can't get too high when he has his great games, you can't get too low when he has his bad games. He's a bit of an inconsistent player. There's a lot of Matt Stafford-like tendencies to him where he's someone who's not going to be perfect game in and game out, but you take him because he's still pretty good, still really good, and then in the big moments he tends to be very good. I think that's not a bad comparison, those two players. Of course, Stafford has a Super Bowl, so Mayfield has some ways to go to get there, but a step closer to at least making the playoffs this year with this win. So yeah, again, it was a weird stretch where these 3 games, it kind of felt like we weren't going to win the division with these 3 games, but we could lose it with these 3 games, right? So being able to go 3-0, hey, it's a win streak, 3-0 win streak. I know I'm a little cooler on the Bucs than maybe some people would like to be. I gotta say this as well. That Jamel Dean play late, I think Mike Evans might have even been yelling at him. There was a play where it was a 4th down, and I think 5. Jamel Dean has the player he's covering, Jacoby Myers, before the first down marker and goes for the ball instead, ends up missing the ball and missing the tackle. Myers is able to run and pick up a bunch more yards. Just make the tackle, and who cares if he makes the catch? You get the first. The game is over. So yeah, there was that, which was didn't love that, but as a whole, again, it's a solid day. Also, I got to talk about the Kalijah Cansey play. It should have mentioned that earlier, probably, where Aiden O'Connell going outside the pocket, scrambling, and then throws the ball, and can't see hit him late. He just did. I was surprised that wasn't called, and also Aiden O'Connell got hurt on it, which really sucks because it just sucks to see guys get injured. So that wasn't good, and from a human standpoint, you don't want to do that because guys can get hurt, and from a football standpoint, they're going to throw flags on that. That was a 4th down and 2 that had just been created once Aiden O'Connell got rid of that football. Why give the refs a chance to throw a flag? It should have been a flag. Just a stupid play, and someone got hurt on it, so that sucks. But, yeah, and, I mean, the other factor is, okay, if both O'Connell and Minshew aren't ready to go, now Desmond Ridder is going to be playing the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football next week in a weird revenge game. So in a weird way, it's kind of karma for us that they don't get the quarterback that they like playing on a game when we need them to win. So it hurts us that way as well. So hopefully Aiden O'Connell's all right. But yeah, that sucked. So yeah, I mean, as a whole, again, the Raiders they're in a rebuilding year. We know what they are. They gave us a fight, but we able to win. So you take that. Shout out Jalen McMillan, who had a couple nice plays there. I was kind of wondering, like, should he have just taken a knee at the end? Technically, yes, right? Like, that's what you probably should do because, you want to, just you win the game if you take the knee there. But I guess you maybe want to say you can be won by 2 scores. Maybe it seems better that way. I don't know. But again, hey, it's a win. I'm not going to complain too much. This is what we needed to have happen. And if you were to tell me 3 weeks ago that everything we needed to have happen with both the Vikings and the Bucs would have happened, or Vikings and the Bucs, with the Falcons and the Bucs would have happened, I'd be thrilled. We went 3-0. The Falcons now, who are just on a tailspin, as they've lost 4 straight games at this point. Playing have a couple get right games though. Play the Raiders and Giants. I think what's going to happen is we're going to have the division lead for a week. Playing the Chargers, they play the Raiders. I think we have a chance against the Chargers. If we beat the Chargers, we're in the playoffs. That's just it. I feel super confident about that. If we lose that game, as long as we go 3-1, I think the Falcons will win their next couple. But I think that we'll get it. I think my guess would be we win the division if we can just go 3-1. But again, no guarantee. I mean, the Panthers are no guarantee. I don't think the Saints are a guarantee. So it's Cowboys. That might be. I feel good about it, but nothing's a guarantee in the NFL. Just look at what happened in the past couple of weeks. But hey, 3 straight wins feels good. I'll feel great if they can win next week. But yeah, those are my thoughts on all of this. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. Of course, as always, thanks for watching.